And if you don't take me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my Can I really say we're the best? At my better. So we are back with another video. Before we do get started with today's video, if you do enjoy and you do want to see some more videos like this, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to turn on notifications as well so you don't miss any future uploads from the channel. And let's get into the purpose of today's video. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I want to try a different series on this channel. I don't know if this is original or not. I have not looked on YouTube. I have not looked anywhere basically for this. But what I want to do is I want to look at the worst single season teams in NBA history, or at least recent NBA history, and just sort of look at the roster, talk about circumstance, all that stuff, and just like how trash they are basically. So I want to be showing you guys the worst teams in NBA history. I am going to start with one of the most depressing teams, one of the most depressing franchises that you right there could possibly hear about, the New York Knicks. You know how I know this? Because I myself am a New York Knicks fan. I will accept all prayers. 2014-15 New York Knicks season was the first season that the Knicks ended up getting 60 losses in a single season. The first time ever. They ended up finishing with 65 losses with, of course, 17 wins. This was the first season of beloved New York Knicks head coach Derek Fisher, and the second season of Knicks executive Phil Jackson. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got trauma from the triangle. My fault. Dude loves triangles so much. Why doesn't he go in the Bermuda Triangle and just disappear? This Knicks team was led by studs such as Cole Aldridge, Lou Amundsen, Jason Smith, Quincy Acey, Shane Larkin, Alexei Shved, and Ricky Lito. Now, we actually had some legitimate NBA players on the team. We had Carmelo Anthony, Tim Hardaway Jr., Amari Stoudemire for a little bit, etc., etc. Amari Stoudemire dealt with injury issues throughout a little bit of the season and eventually got traded to Dallas to try to help them through their playoff push, and I think they lost in the first round that year. I'm going off the dome, and I'm not doing research on that. This is also my first season watching basketball as well. It was definitely a great time for me to get into it then. And when I say we sucked that year, let me tell you, we sucked. Again, this was my first year watching basketball. I didn't know much of the ins and outs or like rules, whatever, but I was aware we reeked. The only time in the season that we were over 500 was 3 games in. We beat the Hornets 96-93, and we were 2-1. We went on multiple losing streaks. I don't believe we went on any longer than a 3-game winning streak at any point throughout the season. We were one of the worst teams in offensive and defensive rating. And somehow also, we managed to have top 5 attendance in the NBA. So, you know, imagine that. I did say we had Carmelo Anthony on the team, and he ended up even starting in the All-Star game. The thing is, though, that Carmelo Anthony only played 40 games that season. I believe he had a knee issue, and eventually he had surgery, and they corrected it, and he had to be out for the rest of the year, which was not a huge loss for the Knicks, considering they were not making the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, we had some decent wins throughout. We had, I believe we beat Cleveland. That was the first game we actually won in the season. That was one of the first games LeBron James was back in Cleveland. We somehow won that. I don't know how. We did beat the Thunder, but the Thunder were kind of doo-doo back then. And Westbrook had to drop 40 for them to lose by 8. So, you know, that was fun. We did have certain impressive performances. We beat the Raptors, who were a playoff team. We beat the Pistons, and while the Pistons weren't necessarily a playoff team, we had a fantastic gutsy outing, highlighted by a Langston Galloway half-court shot to send the game into overtime. Speaking of Langston Galloway, we picked him up midway through the season, and he ended up making all-rookie second team, the only positive highlight that the New York Knicks had in the season. Also, keep in mind, I believe it's when we were 5-30 or 5-31, something like that. We ended up trading J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert to the Cavaliers. It was a 3-team trade. So we got Lou Amundsen and Alex Kirk, I believe, from Cleveland. And we also received Lance Thomas from OKC. Overall, nothing that really changed the franchise or altered the course or whatever. But it was whatever. Honestly, it was honestly whatever.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're...
They missed the playoffs. If any team in any conference made the playoffs with a record of 17-65, you might as well stop watching basketball. This was not like a rebuild like the Detroit Pistons did this year, which I believe it was Moton Noah who said it, who highlighted it perfectly. The Pistons won the games they had to win for morale, they lost the games they needed to lose to tank, and they have a nice young core. The Knicks won a couple of great games, but we lost a lot of games by like 30. An abnormal amount of games. Any normal team, winning or losing, should not lose more than, let's say, 12 games by 25 points or more. I don't know the exact analytics of it, but the New York Knicks 100% did that. In sort of an aftermath, Cole Aldrich would later finesse the Timberwolves out of $22 million. I don't remember Quincy AC being signed to another team. Tim Hardaway Jr. I think got traded to Atlanta during the draft. Langston Galloway became a journeyman in the NBA. I believe he signed with the Pelicans. He played for the Pistons a little bit. And now he's on the Suns, and the Suns are in the finals, so. Clanthony Early, I think, got shot at a point. That's not really a highlight, but like I don't remember much else what Clanthony Early did, so. Shane Larkin, I think he played for the Celtics and for no one else. Lou Amundsen, I don't think played for anyone else after the Knicks. At least, I don't think Lou Amundsen played for anyone else in the US. He did go on to play in the Philippines and in Japan though, but I mean, that's basically it. Obviously, Melo went on with his life. We went on with the 4th pick in that draft. We got Porzingis. Porzingis ended up being a bitch. Not really much else to really highlight. I'm not going to highlight other seasons of the Knicks. I'm not going to talk about the 2018-19 season where we won 17 games as well because Porzingis tore his ACL in that year and we traded him to Dallas for Dennis Smith Jr. and friends. On the behalf of normal Knicks fans, I would like to apologize to you for the fan base harassing you consistently. You do not deserve that, especially when you were going through your own mental health struggles. I know he's never going to see that, but like, I have to dream, can't I? I'm not going to talk about that team though, because that team was still a fun team to watch. Horrible team, don't get me wrong, but they were still a fun team to watch. But that's basically it for me though. If you guys do want to see more videos like this in the future, again, be sure to go drop a like on this video. Let's shoot for 10 likes. If we do, I will make another one, but this time on the Philadelphia 76ers. That, you know, that nice 9-73 team. I will make one detailing that. Any and all criticism is welcome down in the comments. Be sure to let me know what I did right and what I did wrong, what I could improve on, what I could take out, etc. And thank you all so much for watching. If you do enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to turn notifications on as well so you don't miss any future uploads from this channel. Again, be sure to go follow me on Twitter and on Twitch as well. Link will be down in the description. Thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, peace.